Hi, it's Edith from Still Young Online Masterclass, and today I have a super exciting surprise for you ladies. You all know that I teach women around the world about all aspects of their health, right? And I always tell our audience of ladies, especially in their 40s and 50s, just how crucial physical activity is, and certainly now more than ever before. It's helping you to maintain your weight, your bones, your muscle mass, and also strengthen your immune system and boost your mood and brain function. We all know that, right? But gosh, it is so hard to stick to something that can become a part of our life, something that we could even enjoy and have fun while doing. Well, I am happy to share with you my secret weapon to overcome this challenge, which not only helped me to stay alive and strong when I had cancer, but also kept me pretty lean and mean, as this guy says, for over 3 decades and throughout 4 pregnancies and childbirth. And you know what? It also lifted my spirit on some gloomy days and even shaped other aspects of my life where I needed determination and good energy. This gorgeous man has been my fitness idol for over 30 years, and he is here for a special interview dedicated to our Still Young Masterclass ladies audience. He is one of the world's most popular fitness personalities and helped millions to stay fit with his popular TV fitness shows. This unstoppable guy really revolutionized what we knew about fitness. So, without further ado, ladies and ladies, please welcome the one and only Gilad Janklowitz. Woo!
What a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gilad. Oh my, Gilad. It is so good to have you here.
Nice to be with you. I understand it's only ladies and ladies. There's no gentlemen among us here?
You're the only one here.
I'm the only guy.
Absolutely.
The pressure is on me. Okay, I will do my best to represent the male species in an honorable way.
You've done a good job in the past 30 years.
Okay, thank you very much.
Wow, Gilad, this is truly difficult. You know, I'm supposed to ask you all sort of serious questions here, when deep inside I feel really like a teenager fan who just wants to scream, Gilad, I love you!
Well, you can go ahead and do that. It makes my day, you know. Actually makes my night here because I'm in Hawaii right now. So yes, for us it's nighttime. Yes, but we're teenagers, right? When we do exercise, we do fitness, we take care of our health, we feel like teenagers.
Totally.
So there's no mistake there.
Totally. You know, it's incredible, Gilad. I've told my wonderful members of Still Young Masterclass how you not only transformed my life, but also really transformed fitness on television. You have brought the beautiful landscape of Hawaii and its culture and beaches. And, you know, I could almost smell the place in the water. And for me as a teenager, just like many others who didn't come from rich homes, you know, and we grew up in a small town, and that was the closest I could ever get to having a vacation in Hawaii.
It really is the concept of the show. When I first came here to Hawaii, I realized that really we have something very, very special here in the islands from the perspective of the wonderful, wonderful views, beaches, and weather. And in my eyes, when I set out to do this fitness show, outside of the the fitness methods and everything else that we apply inside the show, I found that one of the most really inspirational things was for people on the mainland, especially the U.S. mainland, to be able to visit Hawaii when it was wintertime for them. People did say yes. When it's our long winters here, 4 or 5 months of straight winter, bad weather, we see Hawaii, and it kind of triggers the hope vitamin in the brain that then kind of goes, okay, we have hope, there's weather, there's good weather coming, it's inspiring, you see the beaches, you see everybody exercising, the attitude is good, And I think that's what encompasses and what gets everybody going with the show.
Fantastic. I can tell you every time I exercise, I just, feel like I'm going to the beautiful beaches with some friendly people. That's really how it feels.
Yes, and listen here. We're an island, so we're surrounded by ocean, and I've pretty much been on every single beach in Hawaii that is known, from the North Shore to the South Shore to Maui and Kauai and the Big Island of Hawaii, and of course Oahu, where we're at. I must have hit maybe, throughout our history, probably about 50 different locations. People that come here to visit, they always try to identify which beach we were shooting on. So, that's kind of like a puzzle game.
Over how many years that you've been doing it?
I started in 1983, still active, and we're actually planning to shoot another season.
I'm with you right from the beginning and definitely staying till the very end.
There is no end. We're going to continue going. So,
amen. Amen.
amen.
How many years your face is showing up on my TV screen? Almost every day. And actually my kids, they really grew up with you. It's like we even have family jokes and phrases from your show. Like, this pain is good for you. When my daughter says, "Oh my God, I have a cramp," I said, "This pain is good for you."
That's right.
This pain is your friend.
So you taught her well. That's very good. So she's on the right track.
I had a good teacher.
Absolutely.
And I'm still practicing, as you know, through your members program, which I highly, highly recommend. Girls, best few dollars you're going to spend, ladies, remember. And I admit I have this part in me that is a bit nostalgic. So my favorite show is Bodies in Motion. I mean, who doesn't love the 80s when life was so much more innocent and genuine, when there was no COVID around? And because it was so sweet and so down to earth, that's, I think, why I've managed to stick to this program for over 30 years, and during which, a lot has happened to me. So, Gilad,
Yes.
first, I want to use this opportunity to tell you how thankful I am for your life work, because it really changed my life, perhaps even saved them.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated, really.
Thank you.
It's listen, I hear you and I know your story. Of course, you told me, I'm familiar with your whole, with your struggle and your overcoming all this hardship. And I do get, I mean, the show it has something for everybody, but when I get those types of responses and letters from people that say, your show has really helped me transform, or helped me better my life, or helped me change my life, those are really the ones that kind of touch you in the heart, because you don't really know who you're reaching out there with the television show, and to get that kind of response from so many people across the planet, really, it's really, I mean, it makes it, it makes me want to continue doing it. I mean, it kind of goes both ways. I'm really inspired by the change, by people's responses, by the response to the show, and keeps me going too. So it's a it works both ways.
I'm so happy to hear that. And I can tell you, sometimes we do things we don't even intend to have certain results. And also on our program, I can tell you, I get also letters from women telling me in their emails about things that happened to them, which I never imagined that something I said would influence somebody on the other side of the planet. So yeah, we just need to know that what we do, what we say, is finding its way to other people's hearts, and definitely gives us more energy.
Yeah, I think, I mean, for me, the fact that, I was out doing what I do. Fitness was my life, basically. I was a track and field athlete when I grew up. I studied, fitness. I taught at some of the best clubs in the country before I even started my TV show. I had some of the top celebrities in my classes on a regular basis.
Schwarzenegger as well.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger was before he did his first movie, Conan.
Yeah.
I would find him in my regular class with everybody else. I mean, he would just come in as one of 40 students in the class, right, in the studio, and participate with everybody and do the class. And afterwards, because he was so big and strong and tough, he would stay after the class and ask me to do some more with him, because it wasn't enough for him. So we would stay another hour and do some, private stuff for Arnold. A few years later, when I started my TV show, he, of course, came to Hawaii and did a few shows with me, and that actually helped get the show recognized on the mainland.
Going with us way beyond what you've intended. And
Yes.
and Gilad, you already know I adore you, right? But there is one person on your show that I adore even more. So let me show you who it is, okay?
I know who it is. You don't have to tell me.
Welcome. Let me introduce you to my mom. Mom, this is everybody. Everybody, this is Mom.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, we're gonna have a great workout today. Let's go for it. 5, 6, 7, 8. In workout. Mommy, yay! All right. See you tomorrow.
What a lady, your amazing late mother, Aura.
Yes. No, she was, I don't know if you know this, but when she turned 50, she had a bout with breast cancer.
Yeah, I know.
They went through a very difficult year of chemotherapy back then. We're talking like 37 years ago. And back then they, of course, they didn't treat it like they treat today. They had to go, they had to do the maximum of what they could do at the time. So the treatment was very aggressive. As a result of that, she gained a lot of weight, lost a lot of muscle. I mean, she was just a mess after that year. So we brought her to Hawaii and kind of trained her. And, this is a result of after, I think, 2 years of training. That's what she looks like after that. Yeah. She was on the show. This was back in 1986 or 87, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible. And along the years when I become a mother myself, I just appreciated her more and more because, who can quit the aerobics when she's there doing everything with such energy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so her attitude was unbelievable. She really did. She's one of those people that had that kind of like positive, no matter what happens, there's always a positive outcome to everything. She always makes lemonade out of lemon.
So your relationship was so inspiring. It was so much reflected, was real, not some reality show fake like we're used to see today.
Right. I don't myself watch any of those, so it's hard for me to compare. But our relationship was real from beginning to end, all the way, through and through.
And she passed away last year, right?
She passed away in 2019. Yeah, 2 years ago, actually.
How old was she? 87?
85.
And until that point, how was she doing?
She was actually I was with her the day she passed away, where the whole family was. She was talking to us. She was coherent. She was fine. She was bossing us around. Unfortunately, cancer caught up with her after 35 years. And she succumbed to cancer. So, but we were there with her till the last moment. And that's kind of like, for me, it's a blessing, of course. I was to be there and, spend the last 6 months with her over there in Israel.
Wow.
Yeah, we miss her on the show. She was really from everybody on the show, she gets the most fan mail. And that includes me as well. So she gets way more fan mail than I do. Well, the fact that, it's my mom, she can do it. And, from the older people that were the viewers, I would always say, hey, if your mom can do it, I can do it.
It's so true. So true. And our program, the Still Young Masterclass, is based on the assumption that look at longevity today. Women like your mom, they live till their 80s, even till their 90s.
Correct.
So really, we are truly still young. So we must do everything we can to stay healthy and fit.
Forever young. Listen, I have to say that her attitude till she passed away was forever young. In her head, she was young. And I know a few other people. Some of my inspiration in my life has been like people like Jacklaine,
Oh,
There you go. You're just pulling it up. Jacklaine, who appeared on the show, him and my mom were on the show both together.
Oh.
He passed away at the age of 96. I still made it to his 95th birthday party. Yeah, and
Maybe some of the people who don't know him, the godfather of fitness.
The godfather of fitness.
Who will show you how to feel better, look better. Jacklaine.
You know, actually, it's really different for me to do the jumping jacks knowing who is Jacklaine.
Right, exactly. No, I'll tell you that back in 1982, my first television appearance ever was on his TV show.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, I actually, I had the idea of doing a show back then, and a friend of mine in Hawaii said, "Why don't we go to LA? Let's go. Jacklaine would love to probably host you on his show." And we went there, and that's what he did. He hosted me on his show and said, "Hey, you should have your own show."
And
And
you
I
did.
said, "Well," and I
And here
a
he
year
is.
later, I launched my show. Yes.
Today again is Jacklaine.
Yo, how you doing?
And one of the things our viewers always ask is it ever too late to start a fitness program?
It's never ever too late. They have proven. There's been many, many tests done in the last year. They take people from 50 to 95. These are normal people with high blood pressure and everything that comes with aging. They put them on an 8-week program through muscle failure. That means they work all their muscles with weight, and then the instructor's there making sure they do it. And you know what happens at the end of 8 weeks? No, they didn't die. Most of them double their strength, double their endurance, and their muscle mass improved so dramatically. And they found out that the older people, even the 95, got the same results as younger people. So it's never too late. Remember that.
What about
That's not me talking, you know, it's a medical profession. About nutrition.
Yes.
Okay, would you get your dog up in the morning, give him a cup of coffee, a cigarette, and a donut? You'd kill the dog. But how many people get up in the morning with a cup of coffee, a cigarette, and a donut? They wonder why they're sick and tired, why they're old before their time. Their sex life is gone because they're putting the wrong fuel in this human machine.
Thanks, Jack. Now, Jack, you know, you've been throwing boats all over the world, and I just want to make sure that you're still as strong as ever. So I bet you can't move me out of this chair.
Where do you want to go?
What an amazing character he was.
Yes, he definitely was. And he was, when he appeared on my show, he was 80 already.
Amazing. And I think he died at 97.
96, close to 97, yes.
And Lala is still around, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I just spoke with her about a week ago.
Wow. So tell her we still remember him and talk about him.
Yes, no, she actually just is finishing a book about his life and their life together and all the stuff that they both did together for fitness. Yes.
Amazing. And he always used to say that exercise is king and nutrition is the queen. Put them together in moderation and you got yourself a kingdom.
That's right. Exactly. That's his very famous sentence. True, because one does go with the other. I mean, the way I look at it always is that the nutrition is the fuel for your body, right? So what you put into your body is what you can demand from your body to do afterwards. And I think that the more people are conscious of their intake of food, they will feel better. And especially if you exercise, you'll feel even better. So the results just multiply. A lot of people look at their fitness as they're saying, okay, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna junk out today, so tomorrow I'm gonna run 10 miles and I'll burn it all off. So to me, it's always been don't look at your exercise as a way to burn off bad eating habits. You should do both, as you say, the king and the queen. So definitely nutrition and exercise. Mental attitude, of course, is key. And healthy body, healthy mind, healthy body. So all that comes into play when we're looking at our overall fitness. Yeah.
Do you follow any specific diet?
I just eat logically. I don't eat junk food. I don't eat almost any processed foods at all. Every once in a while I'll have something that you would consider fun, but I've trained myself and I'm very happy doing it to eat healthy, plain and simple.
It pays off.
Yeah, it pays off. Of course, it pays off. I hope. I mean, you need a little bit of luck too, but I hope in the long run it pays off. Yes.
It definitely does, Gilad. I mean, look at people. We see people now, even in their 30s, 40s. When we look into their blood tests, they look like 60. So
yes. I mean, the information and the facilities are out there for us to be able to use for everybody. Now it's just a matter of the consciousness. Do you really want to do it? Do you really think it's important for you? I think that, you know, with healthy habits, healthy eating habits, healthy exercise habits, you can add, you know, not only years to your life, but life to your years. That's the line, right?
Well said.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we just speaking of Jacklaine, and really, he was a tremendous, tremendous inspiration for millions of people. But his wife, Elaine, who she herself is going to be 95 in March, and I just spoke with her last week, and yes, she's 95. Her, you know, her body is 95 years old. But when you talk to her, and it's like speaking with a young person.
It's on her skateboard.
I'm not sure if she's on her skateboard anymore, physically, but mentally she is. I know that. She's still riding her skateboard every day, probably all day long.
You mentioned Jake and Lala, and I know that they have lost their daughter at a very young age.
Correct.
So definitely, you know, they always were focusing on the full half of the glass, as they put it. And I know that without exercising, just like you said, the emotional resilience would have not existed to get them to such old age.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the emotional resilience and the you know, staying inspired is the key.
Definitely.
You can be 20 years old, and you can be 95 years old and young. You know, I have to say that the mental, people say, okay, the mental, how do you get to the mental, right? The mental, it sounds like a nebulous thing. How do we get there? I think that the mental is a muscle, just like everything else. You know, call it spiritual, call it mental, call it whatever you want. It is a joy. It's a muscle, and the more you exercise it, the more you're going to benefit. The more it'll develop. Okay, if you sit and you cry all day, I'm miserable, I'm awful. You know, life is giving me lemons. I'm blah blah blah. That's how you'll feel. But if you start looking for the good, even if it's a little bit of good, and you build on it and build on it and build on it, you put it, you know, every day you put a dime of good into your savings account. After a while, all of a sudden, there's quite a bit of change there. And that can inspire you to keep going. And I think, you know, every one of those people that I know that have reached that age with that kind of an attitude, like Lalaine and his wife. I've known a few other people that have reached 100 and plus, and in that state of mind, all of them have the same philosophy and the same message to share. It's a muscle like anything else. You have to, you know, you always have a choice to go right or to go left. They decide to go right. Of course, life brings you challenges sometimes that knock you on your face, and you go left, but you have to thrive and hope to go back to the right side.
So true. And you know, the brain, it's like a sponge. Whatever you're going to put it into, it's just going to soak it.
That's
And
right.
I think that's part of the reason why we're here sitting together, because for 30 years, those messages and everything that, you know, this attitude and the joy of life is what was reflected in your programs. And that's why I was so much into it, so much addicted to it.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. I feel like I'm just, you know, a messenger of that knowledge, really, is to pass that knowledge on to people and to inspire them.
You walk the walk. That's the beauty. You walk the walk. It's all genuine and all down to earth. It's really, really.
Yes. I try to walk the walk. Yes, I do.
You know, most of the ladies who are watching us, they're about my age, you know, in their 40s or 50s. And these years are coming with special challenges of menopause, which is not an easy time for our body and also to our mental condition, talking about mental. So
Okay.
I would like to ask you, Gilad, you know, given your experience, what is the best exercise routine for women at this age, which can help them cope with these challenges?
I think the issue with you know, with menopause and going through hormonal changes and things like that is here's what I'll say. It's when you're young, okay, intensity is more important than consistency. So for example, if you train twice or 3 times a week when you're young, your muscle holds it for 2, 3 days, 4 days even, past your workout. After you hit a certain age, the consistency becomes more important than the intensity. So, for example, okay, if I had advice to give a woman going through menopause or post-menopause, since I haven't personally gone through it, so I'm speaking out of my league, but I can only tell you from what I know and what works, okay, is that doing something on a regular basis, okay, whether it be 5, 6 times a week, even if it's shorter duration, okay, and less intensity, is more important than going all out twice a week. Especially at this age, especially when we get to the age of 50 plus, 55, 60. I definitely, and I can even tell you and share with you from my own training and my own experience with my own body, although I'm not going through menopause, is that maybe men go through menopause too. Who knows? Maybe we do.
It's true, but it's less traumatic, like most things in life, but they do.
Maybe they do. But I think for me, I find that, yeah, the consistency is more important. Now, what happens with consistency is that over time, you can also build the intensity. If you're looking at your program as a long-term program, and you combine cardio and strength training, stretching, range of motion, yoga, all these things, you can combine it into a weekly and a monthly and a yearly program. And I think that once you do that on a regular basis, your intensity will increase too.
Right.
In other words, you'll be able to be more flexible. You're going to do more flexible things. You're going to do strength training consistently. You're going to become stronger and be able to do more. You're going to do cardio on a regular basis. Your heart and lungs are going to get stronger. Okay? So the intensity will build as a result of the consistency.
Exactly. Incredible. That's a very important distinction.
I seriously think so, because many people think, like I said, when you're young, you can go twice a week, 3 times a week, you hit it, the body takes care of itself. You get to the older ages, 50, 55, 60, even before that, I'd say even in your 40s, you have to start taking care of your body.
There's something very interesting I was reading the other day about the difference between biological age and chronological age.
Okay.
And up until age 38, mostly we don't see the difference, like they match. But
right.
38, all of a sudden, you could find people that their chronological age is not reflected in their biological age, and it goes both sides. You could be 38, biological age is 10 years younger, or even 20 years older.
Absolutely. And very good point. And it's all up to you. If you're a smoker, if you're a drinker, if you're a junk food eater, your body will deteriorate way, way faster than if you do take care of yourself. And if you do watch what you eat. And if you do, you don't smoke. Just look at people who smoke on a regular basis for years. You take a look at their face. You take a look at their whole appearance. You can tell a very, very big difference between them. And not to mention what's inside. Listen, nothing like personal experience.
Listening to you, and they've never done anything before. Let's say there's somebody in their 40s or 50s who never exercised regularly, and perhaps they're also overweight. Can someone like this still beat the odds and get into shape?
Yes. A couple of things I want to mention. One is, we have our muscles, we have our heart, our lungs, all the internal organs, and we have the joints. Many times, if you do sports when you're young, aggressive sports, right? You've been a sports person, or you play on a football team, or you're basketball, whatever it is, and you use your body to the extreme, you could develop later on in life some issues with your joints.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the joints are very, very hard to, a muscle tear, if a muscle tears, you can build the muscle up. A joint tear is a whole nother ballgame, okay? Because the joints don't have a lot of blood going through them, very difficult to heal, and takes much longer. Over time, making sure that your body stays healthy okay, is important. Now, if you take a person who's 40 or 45, who's never worked out before, okay, you can say that they have advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that their joints are not overused, okay?
Right.
So when they're starting at the age of 40 or 45, it's like somebody starting when they're younger. So their joints are probably younger than a 20, 25-year-old who went aggressively on sports. That being taken also, but what happens is with people who did sports, let's say they were in college, okay, and then neglected it for 20 years and then started up again, the muscle, there's another element here that's called muscle memory. The muscle remembers, okay? So for them, it might be quicker to get back into shape than somebody who's never done it, even after years. The chances are that the results that they're going to get are going to be a little bit quicker, because the muscle does have the memory. Plus, they do remember how to work out, and they do have that mental ability to do that, okay? The advantage that somebody 40, 45 has is that they never use it, and it's like starting from scratch. This is my experience. I didn't read this in a book. I'm just telling you, this is my experience. This is what I see and what I think, okay? It doesn't mean that somebody who did, very aggressive sports can't continue doing it till the age of 100. I've seen people do that as well. I'm just saying that somebody at the age of 40 or 45 says, yeah, I've never worked out. I'm not going to start now. I'm too old for this stuff. Who's got the patience for it? I'm too busy, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying, no. You can get just as good results, if not better, because you're fresh. The fact that at any age, even people in their 80s, if they start a fitness program, a vigorous fitness program, when I say vigorous, I mean consistent, not to overdo it, but consistent exercise on a regular basis, right? Muscle toning, cardio, stretching, you see improvement even at the age of 80. And muscle can still grow. Muscle can still become denser and tighter and stronger.
So it's never too late.
No.
And like we said, we are still young. We have at least 40, 50 years ahead of us.
I have seen this so many times. People that do exercise on a regular basis, that do watch their diet, they have less diseases overall. I mean, you can never say for sure, because things could happen. But the graph slows down for them. The aging graph slows down. Like you said, when you're 38, the graph, if you don't take care of yourself, the graph goes downhill. And if you're 38 and you do take care of yourself and you watch it, the graph goes down, but at a much slower rate. And that's the goal. You want to be able to enjoy your body. You want to be able to enjoy your life for as long as you possibly can. Healthy body, healthy mind, right?
Absolutely. You definitely inspired me to continue at least 30 years more. You just need to promise me we'll have another interview then, okay?
Okay, 30 years is a long time. We can do it before that too.
And when this horrible pandemic ends, I hope to have a chance to finally exercise with you in Hawaii.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate what's going on. I mean, who would have thought in his mind that something like this would hit us in the year 2020?
Absolutely, beyond any fantasy and any science fiction.
Yes.
But this is the time to exercise, to stay, in our best health.
Yes, I'll tell you, because I find, people are more at home than they've ever been before.
Right.
They're not traveling. They can't travel right now. Most places you cannot travel to. So I think that this is an opportunity to really, you can either sit there at home and feel sorry for yourself and for everybody, or you can sit at home and say, okay, I'm at home, I'll do something. I can exercise at home, even if it's very basic stuff. And you don't need a lot of equipment, as you know. With the TV show, with what we do, with Bodies in Motion, with Total Body Sculpt, it's except for a couple of light dumbbells and a rubber band, we don't really do much equipment. Yeah. So there's a lot you can do with your own body.
You just need the will, a television, a DVD, and here you can see my special drawer. You see, I have a drawer full of DVDs by Gilad, and
you really do, don't you?
So thank you so much, Gilad. God bless you. Keep your amazing work and take care. Aloha.
Aloha, and all the best to you and all your viewers. And I hope they keep their body in motion for for years to come.
Absolutely, absolutely. Check out Gilad's channel, Gilad TV, Gilad on Demand. It's amazing.